You okay? How's everybody doing this evening? Of course, my name is Kent, and the channel is EOS San Diego. And I want to talk a little bit further about the Dan Larimer story. As they say, it's a pretty short walk from the penthouse to the outhouse, and I think Dan Larimer made that little trek here just recently. I remember when the project first started. Dan Larimer was just basically, he was walking on water, and now he's probably one of the most despised people in crypto because he walked out on the project. And I've heard some of the other YouTube videos about Dan, and they're pretty good. I mean, basically everybody feels the same way, is that Dan let everybody down and did something he said he wouldn't do, which never is a good idea, especially when you raised the kind of money they raised. I mean, they raised a lot of money, $4 billion. And a lot of people like myself and a lot of other people have invested a lot of time and effort into this project, built stuff on the project. And for the guy that was kind of like the leader of the project to walk away from it is pretty disappointing, and shows a real lack of I guess what you would say, it shows a lack of respect for the people that supported him. So, it's like you support this person, his idea, and then he walks away from it. And it's like you got people just like me. I make these videos, and I feel like I have a little bit of, not a little bit, I have quite a bit of responsibility for what I tell people. And if I say I'm going to do something and I don't do it, then I feel like I've let the people down that have listened to me. And I think that's what Dan did. He let a lot of people down that listened to him. He said he would never leave. They had a lot of promises that never got completed. They raised a lot of money. They didn't really do much to support the problems. And of course, the money they raised, and of course, we as a project, we have a lot of problems with them. We had a lot of problems. The whole RAM fiasco was crazy. We lost a lot of money in that. That was absolutely insanity. Cost us a ton of money because of the fact that the RAM went up when we were doing an airdrop. And at that point, we probably should have let go. But we continued, and then, of course, I think the problem with the distributing the tokens to the exchanges and the exchanges being able to hold the votes and vote for themselves, that was another huge problem. There's a lot of problems with EOS, and I can understand why everybody feels the way they are, and a lot of those problems never got solved. And of course, then Dan became very, I would say, aloof. He wouldn't, like you say, he wouldn't come on my channel. He would rarely speak out about these problems, and then he would talk cryptically. I mean, he would talk in some sort of vague way of saying something, and generally it seems like he was more interested in politics and elections than he was in his $4 billion project that everybody put their faith and trust in. It's almost like, you're not a politician, Dan. You're a software developer. We appreciate you giving your personal opinions about stuff, but deal with what you have on your plate, and don't try to fix world problems as far as elections and politics and all this other stuff. So that's the negative side of what I see happening, and I see everybody else seeing the same thing. And I even see my good friend Colin, which Colin's a great guy. I liked his video. I watched it here just recently. And he basically is selling out all of his tokens, and he is no longer going to be a proxy, and he was the #1 proxy. So he's just literally given up on EOS and walking away from it. And I've met Colin personally. I've talked to him personally at the hackathon. I can tell you he's a genuine person. He's a very intelligent person. He's a thoughtful person, and he's a good guy. He's a really good person. I like Colin. Colin's probably, it's like he said in his video. He said, you get a chance to meet people in these when people all combine together in a community, and you get to make relationships, and those relationships are really valuable and good. And I gotta say, meeting Colin in this EOS experience has been very valuable. He's a great guy. I really like Colin, and I will continue to follow Colin and follow what he does, because I like his analysis. I like the way he approaches things. I like the way he does things. I always thought he's a real asset to the community, and like he said, very much underappreciated for what he brought to the table, as far as being somebody that supported EOS, as far as being somebody that put a lot of his own personal time and effort into building a proxy and doing what was best for the project. So yeah, I mean, that's really hard for that kind of stuff to see that happen, because it's a huge loss. And Dan Larimer, by doing what he did, really squandered a lot of good people like that. I mean, if Colin never follows Dan or never has anything more to do with EOS, that's a huge loss to EOS, no matter what EOS does in the future. And by Dan doing what he did, there's a number of people like that that won't be involved with the project anymore. That hurts the project, and I think that's all relevant, and that should all be thought about and talked about. And like I say, it's not a good thing. And good luck with Dan. But I don't know, maybe people's memories are short, but good luck with him as far as his future projects, because it sounds like it's like 3 times and 3 strikes and you're out, and this was Dan's 3rd strike, so he may be out. Of course he's got plenty of money to live on, and he probably will never have to do anything. Maybe Dan will go into becoming some sort of I can really see a guy like Dan Larimer going out and starting a church. I mean, he seems to have kind of like a religious, religious, what would you say, religious libertarian point of view, kind of like a real moral kind of thing, where he's real rigid in the way he believes. He's not very flexible with his belief system. He seems like he's real rigid. He always talks about life, liberty, and this other thing, and the pursuit of whatever he talks about. I don't know how he's something that he always says. But anyway, Ken seems rigid, which leads me to what I've been thinking about here for the last couple days, since I've listened to this or heard this news about Dan Larimer. I feel like Dan was a real rigid guy, smart guy, good ideas, technically, had figured out a huge problem, which was scalability as far as blockchain is concerned, but had problems being able to not be able to have that technology be used for things outside of things that he has so much unflexibility with. He was so inflexible in so many ways that I think that when, like with voice, I mean, if he felt like voice wasn't going to be totally uncensored, that there was ability to censor voice, and honestly, we're going through that right now with our challenge application. People are asking us why is challenge not being able to be downloaded on a Google Play. And the reason is because Google is asking us to have a mechanism in place so that we can censor some comments if those comments aren't, something that are considered highly inflammatory. So we have to put that mechanism in place. And we're willing to do that because we realize that's the rules of the game and that's what we're going to play. So in order to stay on Google, we're going to have to figure out a way to at least have something in play where we have some standards, where we have to have something to show what we are willing to accept for what people say or don't say. And then, of course, Google is going to have to decide if our community standards are within what they want to allow our DApp to have. So in other words, if you created a DApp and you said we're going to allow this kind of speech, this kind of speech, this kind of speech, this kind of speech, and Google looks at it and says no, that's not acceptable. You have to be you're going to have to limit some of the stuff that's being done here. Some of the stuff that you're allowing isn't acceptable to us as Google, as a company, as an organization. So you're not going to be able to do that. Basically that's what's going on with us as far as Google Play is concerned. As soon as we fix that problem, we'll be back up on Google Play. I think Dan has the same problems. There's probably certain standards that are having to be done for voice that Dan just won't simply accept. He just says, I'm not going to do that, so I'm out of here. And I think that's kind of what's happened. So Dan is very inflexible, and he won't kind of bend to what is going on in the world today, which is there's certain things that people are going to have a problem with if you say, okay? So he's inflexible, so he's just going to walk away from the project because he personally can't adjust, which is a problem for Dan, because that means Dan is kind of setting himself up as a higher moral standard. He's got his morals up here, and his morals are going to be more important than everything else that it's costing him to maintain those morals, which is losing all the respect and all the goodwill and all the stuff that he's built up by building something like the EOS Block 1 software. He's willing to give that all up because he just doesn't want to have to deal with something like what we're dealing with right now with Challenge. And that's a problem, because if he's that inflexible, he probably isn't going to be very good for EOS. And I think that him leaving is a good thing, is a positive thing, because when you have people that are just so inflexible that they just can't see anybody else's point of view, you can't progress in the world. You are stuck because this one person just will not, are stubborn enough that they just will not swing. They will not change their mind, or they won't compromise. And that's what I think is going on. So actually, in my mind, I think that EOS will be much stronger without someone like that. And I do think that there's some things going on with EOS right now that are very, very, very valuable. The fact that they are a smart contract platform that is running incredible transactions at an incredible speeds. Blocktivity always has them at the top of the list. The fact that they have waiver from the Security and Exchange Commission, the fact that so much is out there for them to be able to do and participate in. This is still a very valuable platform. And Dan Larimer leaving the platform isn't going to make it less valuable because the software is already in place and everything's good. It's probably going to make it more valuable because now it's more open-minded and it's more available to people, a lot of people that would use it for applications of which Dan would have a problem with. So, hey, I actually think this is a good thing. I actually considered today changing the name of the channel and not even calling it EOS San Diego anymore, calling it something else. But the more I think about it, the more I like the fact that Dan's leaving. I think it's a good positive thing for Dan, for EOS. It's kind of disappointing that the guy is basically, if he didn't foresee these problems in the future, he probably should have foreseen that this was going to happen and not said the things he said. He probably should say, I'm going to be with Block 1 and EOS as long as they don't go, down a road that really violates, my strong opinions or my strong beliefs. Then I'll be with them. But until then, I may leave sometime in the future if things change. But he didn't say. He said he was going to stay. So I actually think that EOS is much stronger today. It could be much better. I think this is a low price. The price has been beat up because of Dan's leaving. But I think, as I said earlier, a couple of weeks ago or so in my video, the fact that there's a deal going on where banks are open to running blockchains, and of course you need a blockchain that runs very fast to do a lot of transactions. EOS is that blockchain. The fact that they have the waiver already from the Security and Exchange Commission, which could be a huge problem for a lot of other blockchains. And I'm hoping that there's people at Block 1 right now, Brendan Bloomer, and maybe some other people that can bring somebody in that can be a better person to integrate into this world that we're living in right now than Dan Larimer. Dan Larimer just cannot be flexible enough to do that. So I think that the future is still bright for EOS. My channel will continue to be called EOS San Diego. We are running on EOS blockchain. I don't foresee us at this point leaving the EOS blockchain. I mean, we are talking about running on some other blockchains, but I mean, and I have to look at the tech and see how that works out. But I don't know how if you can run on multiple chains or not, if we could or not. But I don't see any reason to leave EOS, and I'm not selling any tokens. In fact, I'm actually considering buying a few tokens right now and putting a stake down here and buying some more because the tech is still there. It's like, it's like there's some ugly things about it, but the overall, the overall structure, the overall foundation, the overall, the bones are still good. The foundation is still strong. The things that this thing was built on, the ideas that it was built on are still very, 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 very important and very valuable. It's just that you have one inflexible person that left. Okay, that's fine. They leave. Things could get better. Things could get stronger. And actually, what was needed was somebody to do the tech, and the tech's done. And that was Dan. He did what he did. He got it done. He got it finished. And now he's off to other things. So I'm actually a buyer in EOS right now, and I probably will buy some tokens. I'm not saying I'm going to make a huge position in EOS right now, but I think I will be buying some tokens here in EOS. They always say buy things when everybody else is selling, and if everybody else wants to sell, I guess I'll be a buyer. So I'll be expecting to buy some EOS tokens here very soon, if not tonight. In fact, as soon as this video is over with, I'll probably make a purchase. Not a huge purchase, but I'm going to make enough of a purchase that it will definitely make a difference if it goes up very much. I don't want to throw just a few $100 at this thing. I want to throw enough money that if it does go up, that I can see some returns. So yes, I am a buyer of EOS. I think EOS is better without Dan. I think Dan's very inflexible, and I don't think that's working today. I think that things will be better. I think things are going to get better. And I think, unfortunately, it has to go on, and unfortunately has to go on the way it's going on. Things don't always end up being nice and pretty all the time. Sometimes there's a lot of messiness that goes on in this kind of stuff. And I think in this respect, there is a lot of messiness. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing a lot of messiness. Don't get too carried away with how things sometimes work out for the best. Like I say, with all due respect to my good friend Colin, I see some other people. I think the Crypto Dunker made a video I watched. I thought, he made good points. I've seen some other people make some good points. So yeah, with all due respect to my good friends and the other people in this community, I'm feeling like things could turn in the favor of EOS. I continue to hold EOS. We'll continue to hold it, and the EOS train's still running. So I'm still aboard. I appreciate you watching.